Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside the friendly confines in the Dowell Activity Center, where tonight the Marauders at 7-6 overall and 4-3 in conference action will take out Northern State Wolves at 2-14 overall and 0-7 in NISC action. Jordan Hasser, happy to have you along here in the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show. Visit them online at www.fumic.com. Our broadcast partner tonight, DakotaGrappler.com himself, John Gums. And John, we expected this duel to be probably a little bit better than it's going to be. Northern State dropped someone last night to Minot State 27-13. And surprisingly enough, two guys that were in the lineup last night are not going to be in the lineup tonight, as we're going to have two opens in this duel as well. So that changes the complexity of what we're looking at here tonight.
Well, I do expect to see some good wrestling. The competition in a couple of weight classes in the upper side of the bracket is going to be really nice in the second half of the duel. Some of the earlier matches, University of Mary's got a few ranked wrestlers you're going to see wrestle. Both Nate Hooman, who just is starting to get some big wins, and Tate Barnhart, who's ranked nationally number 9 right now, and also ranked number 2 in the region, or number 3 in the region. So going to see some good wrestling out of these Marauders tonight.
It's the Farmers Union Insurance pregame show. Will roll on after a quick break. Marauders and Wolves set to tangle in NSIC action. The final duel of the 2017-2018 campaign. More from the MAC when we get back. Back we come to the McDonald Activity Center tonight. Northern State, University of Mary, and NSIC collegiate wrestling action. Let's take a look first at some of the precursors to this duel. As we take a look first, our trip around the region presented by North Dakota Firefighters Association. You were born to be more than an 8-5. Visit them at ndfirefighter.com. Here's the standings of the NSIC as we go into tonight's duel. St. Cloud obviously number 1, perfect at 7-0. Ogden, Upper Iowa 6-1 and 6-2. Minnesota State, Mankato, Mary comes in at number 5 at the midpoint of that NSIC. Moorhead, South Minnesota State, Minot State, and Northern wrap it up. Then we'll have the WDA hockey tournament on Friday and Saturday. We'll take one more step aside. When we come back, we'll get you set up between the University of Mary and Northern State. Back we go to the McDowell Activities in Northern State, University of Mary, and NSIC collegiate wrestling. Actually, we move along here on the pregame show. Take a look at our player matchup presented by the fine folks over at Choice Financial. Visit them online at choicefinancialgroup.com. And if there's one match, John, in this duel that we think is going to be a good one, it's probably not going to be Blake Perryman as they shifted things around on us. Perryman will wrestle at 65 tonight. Jared Reese at 57. Reese is slated, however, to take on Tanner Olsen, who should be a good matchup. But both these guys in their respective weight classes are going to be the ones to watch here tonight.
Yeah, Tanner Olsen is coming along. He had beat the number 1 guy out of St. Cloud just about a week ago. And then you've got Division I wrestler in the past who just couldn't break the lineup out at Oregon State. Napoleon wrestler. Got Jared Reese going on there at 57.
So those are tonight's player matchup presented by Choice Financial. It's the hashtag People First player matchup. The folks at Choice Financial. Let's take a look now at our keys to the game presented by Pinky Homes. Get the Keys new custom built home from Pinky Homes. Visit them in Wishick or pinkyhomes.com. For the Wolves, it's the loneliest number. That number is 1. Looking for their first NSIC complete win on the conference schedule. And for the Marauders, trying to finish their regular season as strong as they possibly can here in their dual action. That's tonight's Pinky Homes keys to the game. Let's take a quick look ahead. Presented by John Star Lockus, JSI, celebrating more than 50 years of balancing progress with perspective. A lot here for you. WDA hockey on Friday and Saturday. Bismarck Minot, NAHL junior hockey on Sunday. Williston BSC doubleheader on Monday. And then next Saturday, Jamestown versus Minot State and ACHA college hockey as well. That's our look ahead presented by JSI. Tonight's duel on the BEK Broadcast Network presented in crystal clear high definition by the fine folks over at Piper's Auction and Realty Company. Piper's Auction and Realty Company is number 1 for land management and auctions. Visit them online at pipers.com. And the fine folks over at NISC and University of Mary has won the toss, and they have selected odd tonight. Again, NISC. They are your the National Information Solutions Cooperative. Tonight's broadcast also presented by University of Mary. So happy to be here on campus, as I'm sure those two are as well. We are in for what should be a good duel here tonight between the University of Mary and Northern State. At 125 will be Nate Hooman. The Hooman 10-12 here coming into tonight's contest. His opponent, Cortez Castellanos, coming in at 1-13. So Hooman and Castellanos to get set at 125 pounds.
Get these little guys have a little action there. Good shot there by Hooman.
And the first 2-point takedown of the afternoon belongs to Nate Hooman.
Cuts him.
Quick 1-point escape there for Castellanos. Castellanos in the single leg here. Wizards in for Hooman. Trying to force it away, and the speed, we kind of see, John, as we go through this duel, in most duels, we see kind of that bell curve, if you will. The speed starts kind of quick and fast, and then we have a little bit of a hump, and then it seems to kind of slow drastically when we get to the other end. But it's always fun to watch these 125 pounders as we get set. It seems that these two guys seem to set the tone for what the remainder of the duel is going to be like.
That's so true. Hooman's got great experience on his feet, and you're going to see him. He's been in the one of the top leaders on the team in takedowns this year. Good little overshuck there. Over tie. He's controlling the elbows. You see him just snapping them down, controlling that head a lot.
Again, difference between college and high school, you can score on the edge of the mat. Don't see that a whole lot in high school. We see a fair amount of it here in college. We're 1:07 gone in period number 1 between Hooman and Castellanos. The 2-point takedown is awarded to Nate Hooman. We're out of bounds. We'll come back to the middle. Our official tonight, the Bismarck Mandan area, Justin Dakota, former Bishop Ryan Wrestling head coach. Justin Dakota, I was spent a couple years under Mr. Dakota's tutelage at Bishop Ryan.
My son happens to be in the same class as his son, and so they get to see each other a lot. And in the junior high ranks and up at Century. So.
And a 2-point takedown for Nate Hooman as he gave the 1-point escape away to Castellanos. He'll give one more here, so 2 for 1. 6-3 our score in favor of Hooman over top of Castellanos of Northern State.
Yeah, the thing I really like about college wrestling is this action in the first period. Going 3 minutes, really, like you said, sets the tone to the matches.
A nice finish there for Nate Hooman, a 2-point takedown from the single to a double out of bounds. And we'll come back to the center with 70 seconds to go here in period number 1. A 5-point lead, and now Cortez Castellanos will be given the 1-point escape, and they'll start neutral once more.
Well, before you know it, these guys will be in the Super Regional coming up not too long, just down the road. And these guys, are looking for their seeds. I know Mary's now has 5 guys in the previous poll here now ranked in the region. So that's pretty good, and we can talk about that as we go. Now, Hooman's trying to get back to that 500 record. He's presently 10-12, I believe, and he's coming around. He's dominating right now, looking real good on his feet. Looks like he's going to cut him again.
Yeah, and that Super Regional, John, will come up in St. Cloud, Minnesota, the 23rd and 24th of February. So just, about 8-9 days away.
Well, it's kind of really big. These guys, they don't realize how tough this region is. They get the top seeded team in the nation, but then you look at Mankato and you look at all these teams that have perennials, qualifying 4 to 8 guys, and plus, you got to score in the tournament. It's another thing you see a lot in college is passing at that ankle. Some people call it an Abbas roll, but it's a different position. You got that danger position where if you stay there too long, they got to understand their body control, and also score takedowns there too. Yeah,
we saw a fair amount of that. If folks have been watching collegiate wrestling on the BEK Broadcast Network all season long, we've been featuring the Vise of North Dakota State University, and we saw a handful of matches, especially a guy that's longer, right? A guy that's a little bit taller, and a guy that's a little longer. You don't see a lot of panic, right, as Nate Hooman will choose a neutral position to get set. And I think that's a difference, John, between folks that are familiar with high school wrestling and the collegiate wrestling is a lot of the time when you get in that uncomfortable position, somebody panics and points are scored. The difference between high school and college in that position is in college, nobody panics.
That's so true. Just the whole body control. You still see guys developing in high school, and how many guys just panic as soon as their back gets even close to the mat. Now, Hooman's looking for bonus points here. He's going to set this duel a great tone. The crowd's getting into the match.
Yeah, 16-7 our score.
He's looking in really good condition. Now, he was kind of this same type of wrestler in high school, really aggressive. Late bloomer, took him a long time until his senior year to become a state champ, and he's really developing well out here at Mary.
1:14 to go here, 16-7 our score in period number 2 between Hooman and Castellanos.
Dominating, cut and go, wearing them out. Again, you see that control of the head. You don't get to see that quite as much in high school. They don't like that domination as much in college. That domination position is kind of frowned upon a little bit at the high school. When they say cut them, And at college, they expect these guys to know what wrestling is, and And so he's now got a 12-point lead here. And looking to maybe get a tech fall here in the second period, getting close, got 40 seconds left.
Yeah, 20-9 is our score right now. Now there's our 2-point takedown. The lead is 13. Now the 12.
Now the 12. But you notice always controlling the head, that inside position.
Yeah, you keep in mind, Cortez Castellano just 1 and 13 coming in here.
Silver match up by 14 going into the last period here, it looks like, unless he gets a quick turn. Now we're going to talk a little bit about riding time later, but he's not worried about that here.
So 12-5 after 1, now 24-10.
I don't know how you can keep up in the book. Checking the score.
So 24-10 is our official. Justin Dakota gets a double check. Obviously the scoreboard here in the gymnasium, they use the foul portion of the scoreboard, so there's no 2 available as the fouls stop at 10. So it is 24-10 in favor of Hooman. A takedown will end this one on a technical fall here in period number 3. And Hooman trying to end this one somewhere in that 5.5 minute mark here.
Yep, I'd guess he's got a little Russian tie. He's going to shove this to the ground or go back to an underhook. He's been popping this underhook straight down. Little snap, front head. See what he does. He's got a nice little over tie.
And he was able to score at will in the first 2 periods. And now we're 32 seconds in and he hasn't got that first takedown. And here's a good one. And ends up losing.
Duck this far side. Oh, there's his shot and single. There's his takedown. Now he's going to try to go for the pin. Nope. Take the takedown. Nate Hooman comes out with a great match to start off this duel. We're not going to have a match at 133, so Mary's going to take a great big lead to start off this duel.
So a takedown and a pin, a win 26-10. We have 141 pounds when we come back. Back we come, 11-0 our score as Tate Barnhart, number 9, and all the lad picks up the forfeit win. Will make it 11-0 in favor of the University of Marion. We get set for 141 pounds. Tonight's duel on the BEK Broadcast Network presented by the fine folks over at University of Marion, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Farmers Union Insurance, and the North Dakota Firefighters Association. And John, we're up at 141 pounds. It'll be Josh Moore for Northern State coming in at 4-12. His opponent, Hunter Eckert, 11-6, coming with 5 pins on the season. So Eckert and Moore were at 141 pounds.
This should be a really good match. Eckert, another state champion of Century, and back in, I think, 2015, so it's been a little bit. But, yeah, nice record. You know, he's sitting with almost twice as many wins as he's got losses. He's going in for a little dump here. See it, good little front hit, low block, go, reshot, explosive, nice takedown.
So a 2-point takedown for Hunter Eckert gives the Marauders a 2-0 lead. They lead on the scoreboard 11-0. A 26-10 technical fall, 42 seconds into period number 3 for Nate Hooman.
Yeah, you're going to see a little bit different style wrestling here. You're going to see Eckert ride a little bit more. He's a pinner. You know, he gets to try to get people on their back and put them away. So he's going to ride and control them and wear them out, you know, when they're on bottom. He has a nice bottom wrist. Going to try to work it between the legs. Got a little monkey tail. He's doing a good job here, already gathering up some riding time. Again, you know, we got a long first period here, and we know the referee's going to keep it going. So you can see him getting control. Once he starts working that bottom wrist, he's going to work it behind the back, or he's working a little, we call a little bull drive there, head lever. He's got a good chicken wing. See if he tries to work that in. College right half. Again, working that bottom wrist again.
Out of bounds will come back to the middle with 1:21 to go. We're about 39 into period number 1.
Yeah, I looked at the latest region poll, and he's ranked 8th right now, and he's got a long ways to go to get out of that super region. You got a place in the top 4, but sitting in that 8th position, you know, he's Of course, you're sitting in that spot close to the number 1 when you get into that quarters, but you know, it's all built on, you know, trying to get through those wrestlebacks and who you meet on the way, and you never know, he has a shot to go at the number 1 guy too.
60 seconds to go here in period number 1. Running time at 1:35 and counting in favor of the University of Mary. And now the 1-point escape will be awarded.
Just good little reaction off a shot there.
So Eckert picks up another 2-point takedown. The running time will continue to mount up here.
Again, riding that wrist. See what kind of turn he's going to try to get here. He's going to try to throw his legs in. A crossbody ride. Oh.
Throw them both in here and see if he can't pick up some near fall
he's got
points
a
here.
Tough power half going on the other side. Oh, potentially dangerous here probably. Oh, blood time.
So blood time will be charged here to Josh Moore of Northern State. Right now the lead is 4-1 in favor of Hunter Eckert. And again, we're going to be open at 149. So we'll have this match at 141. We're going to be open at 149. We'll have that match at 157. Then have a halftime, if you will, after 5 matches here in the collegiate side. And John, we're just 2 short days away here from the start of the North Dakota High School Wrestling tournament going on this year. And you know, every year it's just one of those things that it builds and it builds and it builds. And we've got some pretty good action coming up, both Class A and Class B, as it pertains to the North Dakota State High School Wrestling Championships.
Oh yeah, 12 hours from now there'll be guys weighing in Fargo Dome and getting prepared for, you know, the duels and opening rounds of wrestling. It's a big day for a lot of people. I've been excited now since probably Monday, as the week just can't go fast enough for me to get to Fargo.
So they're cleaning the blood up on the mat, and they have Josh Moore set to go. Got that plug in what appears to be the right nostril of Moore. So 20.3 seconds to go here in the first period.
Well, Josh Moore is an Aberdeen kid, so he's wrestling in his hometown college. You know, he needs to get an escape here if he need, you know, to be able to stay in this match. He's been controlled on bottom pretty much. He needs to get that hand control and get out here short time.
Yeah, up to a base here. Doing a good job 2-on-1 here for Hunter Eckert of University of Mary. And that's how period 1 will come to an end.
No, Josh has got experience. He is a state champ out of South Dakota too in high school, probably back in, I think, 2014. And so he's got the experience. He just has to get his, how could you say it in college, but get it going.
Hunter Eckert, his choice, he deferred to period number 3. And Josh Moore will choose a down position to get set here in period number 2. And I think that kind of surprises me, John, with the fact that he was ridden out for the majority of this match.
Yeah, there's that hand behind the back. No, I did expect him probably more time on his feet, but, you know, Hunter Eckert gets those couple takedowns, and he does wrestle a control-type style.
And 1-point escape is awarded to Josh Moore, so he takes 22 seconds into the second period to pick up his first points of that second period. 4-2 now, our score in favor of Hunter Eckert, and more blood time coming for Josh Moore.
Yeah, you watch Eckert for a while. He does a lot of hand control. He does a little passing of the elbows and kind of uses the guy's momentum against him. You saw how the guy penetrated too much, and he just kind of passed the elbow and right behind. But developed really well here. You know, as you start getting the season as it goes, you know, he's just trying to prepare to get into that super region. So he looks all like in real good condition. Mary does.
And again, we expect to see matches on the back half at all the top weight classes, 65, 74, 84, 97, and 285. Back underway here, $1:24 to go in period number 2.
Okay.
Mary leads 11-0.
There he is. He just wrist control and went behind there. He's using his speed. No escape yet. Back into legs. Oh, did get the.
There is a 2-point takedown for Hunter Eckert.
Trying a little cradle. This is dangerous. Yep, good hand control.
And 1-point escape awarded to Josh Moore, so 6-3. 3 for 3 takedowns to escapes here in this match between Eckert and Moore.
You watch this overtie again. It's kind of one of those century things you see. An overtie and a shuck comes out of it. And they've got a good sprawl on that side. They'll whizzer if they miss it. On the same side. So there he's trying to pass by. All he's doing is touch his hand. Oh, there it is. There's another takedown.
And there's a 2-point takedown for Hunter Eckert.
You see him throwing those legs in again. With that crossbody ride, I tell you what, any type of wrestling that's going to tire somebody out. You throw those legs in for a little while. Oh.
As we went through that India shoe wrestling season, it was interesting. Got to call most of those matches with Jack Mon, and we talked constantly about the best defense to a pair of legs is not letting them in to start with. And at this level and at that Division I level, the minute those legs are in, there's a real good chance they're not coming out.
Yeah, so true. And again, it's one of those control positions that, you know, when they start building that riding time, it becomes kind of that superior over somebody. It's, you know, you give an escape up, it really doesn't matter because you've already got built up at that extra point.
Yeah, the riding time right now, 3 minutes and 24 seconds, so that is well in hand for Hunter Eckert of University of Mary.
He just can't get himself caught in something big. Now, with him going down here, he's put himself in a little danger position himself, but I think he's very confident in getting out.
So Eckert will choose a down position to get set here in period number 3. Tries to hit a switch, back to a base now.
Nice little knee slide, hand control.
Eckert trying to find his way up, trying to steal one here. 17 seconds into period number 3.
Moore's trying to stay back on the leg.
And there's the 1-point escape awarded to Hunter Eckert. So both guys will circle back to the middle with about 33 to go here in the third period. And a deep single leg here is Josh Moore trying to finish. I'll see if Eckert can find a takedown here. Hanging over the top. And Moore's got that right side elbow. Trying to keep it tight to the body and not give up the 2-point takedown.
And again, as this disappears, you see these guys, they have to be in their best shape of the year right now. See if he can push it a little bit harder. You know, he doesn't have bonus points yet. He's only going to be up by 7 with that riding time, so Mary's going to want to push it and see if he can score another takedown here.
53 seconds to go here in period number 3. It's a 6-point difference. He's got one in the bank. So really a 7-point difference, 10-3. Looking for a 2-point takedown. See if he can clear that arm.
He's got it trapped in there. Sometimes you go back and see how he's reaching back. I don't know if you can see it with the camera, but he's reached back, grabs his own ankle on the Wizard, and it traps the guy's arm in there. You just can't clear out. It's being a stalemate.
So stalemate will be called with 31.9 to go here. Again, we're a point shy of what will be a major decision here for Hunter Eckert. Moore trying to avoid the bonus points here for the Hugh Mary product in Eckert.
It's over tie. Trying to get this last takedown, in on a double. See if he can finish. Trying to finish on this single. Still got a Wizard. There, lifts it up, short time. Big takedown there.
And a 2-point takedown from Eckert. And that will give him the lead and a major decision. And that should do it here in period number 3. So your final score 12-3 in favor of Hunter Eckert. Will give the Marauders 4 more. 15-0 Marauders. More wrestling action from the MAC when we come back. 21-0 in favor of Marauders as Reed Cronin picks up the forfeit at 149. We move to 157 for Northern State. It'll be Tanner Olsen. And for the Marauders, it'll be Jared Reese. Olsen coming in 6-4. Reese 3-1, and this should be what could be the best duel of the evening. So Tanner Olsen and Jared Reese to get set at 157.
These two guys got 2 things in common. They're both 4-time state finalists. Wyoming versus North Dakota, actually, though. This guy's from Gillette, Wyoming. I watched him wrestle in South Dakota, I guess, in Rapid City a couple different times. Very tough competitor. We'll see how Olsen can match up with a D1 wrestler who's wrestled in a lot of open tournaments where he's done very well. He's kind of a wild card when you say it. Reese, when he was in high school, could wrestle any weight class and dominate. In fact, he was wrestling 45 and went all the way up to 60 just to help his team out during the state tournament. In fact, enough so that he could even, I probably weighed maybe 53 but could wrestle 60, but 1 pound heavy enough, and I think in one of the duels they even probably bumped him up to 70. He was very versatile and wrestled anybody and just dominated.
He was part of that contingency at Napoleon that He was on the back end of the state championship run of Napoleon, but it was fun to watch him. I know we got a chance to cover Napoleon and have since 2007, and he was a fun guy to just kind of see what he could do on the mat. And you kind of go back to the Jesse Labors of the world, and the word always comes back to me is technician, that concept of being a technical wrestler. And Jesse wasn't always the strongest guy, but he was very technical. Jared maybe a little bit different for his weight class. He is very strong and technical as well.
Well, he's got a lot of experience and a lot of mat time going out and wrestling with Troy Steiner out in Oregon State, and kind of attracted out there, just couldn't find a way to break the team. But you're gonna see a great match here. I got to see how Reese, he didn't get to wrestle in the first half. He only had a semester of eligibility left, so he has a chance here, really trying to, maybe become an All-American here for University of Mary.
So no change on the mat. We're 1 minute 53 seconds into period number 1. They'll come back to the middle of the buck. Goes 7 to go. U Mary leads 21-0 on the mat. Tanner Olsen and Jared Reese, a pair of prize fighters here, battling at 157 pounds.
Well, kind of saying about these region rankings, Reese is unknown in the region, really. Kind of local talent. We know that he's got a lot of ability, but I really think when it comes to the super region, he could surprise some people. His only loss is to the number 1 guy in the region, in fact.
Head ties here between Reese and Olsen. 35 seconds ago now in period number 1. Trying to shuck that by. Reese with the head snap here. And both guys, John, aggressive and defensive at the exact same time.
Yeah, you see them both working kind of an inside tie and kind of an underhook, both blocking with their heads a lot. You're going to notice a lot of these college wrestlers, their faces are beat up come this time of the year. Top of the nose, you can see all those mat burns on the side. And it's not from being on the mat. It's because what they're doing is they're getting head position, and they're controlling the head, moving it where they want. Not afraid to use basically their head as a battle ram. Surprising enough, that was 3 minutes that went just by like that because it was aggressive.
Yeah, decision to Northern State. Check that decision, University of Mary. Reese will defer, and Tanner Olsen will choose a down position to get set here in period number 2.
Another, Reese is very versatile. He can ride on top. Always kind of dangerous to stand up on. He always used to skyjack people, lift him up and take him, but we'll see what happens here. I'm so used to him being bigger, and to me at at 57, he looks actually smaller than what I remember him.
Olsen to his feet, and Reese gonna have to cut him loose.
Good hand control. In on a single. There's a good double.
And a takedown right on the edge of the mat. 29 seconds into period number 2.
I think the biggest thing is just making sure he gets in good condition. It looks like to me he's strong and everything else, but he's breathing hard, so he's going to really have to control his breathing a little bit.
Got a second look at it there. Just a good finish there from Jared Reese from the single to the double, picking up the 2-point takedown, and now the 1-point lead.
Well, let's see what he does here. We're going to watch Tanner Olsen do good hand control, and he's going to get a little knee slide. You'll see him back in, and that's going to work the bottom wrist. Classic. Napoleon's got, if you think of their style versus out in Oregon worked takedowns and just, he'll do a lot of different stuff. There's that hand control. Again, there he's trying to snap him down.
Olsen awarded the escape. 1 minute to go here in period number 2. Tied up at 2 apiece here between Reese and Olsen at the halfway point at the conclusion of this match.
Well, getting ready for this duel, I actually did a little research and stuff and watched a couple of his matches in college. And you watch Reese now, and he just really needs to just bring his pace up. That was one of his big attributes when he was in college. I know he's been out here a little bit, and getting him back on the mat was kind of a surprise. It was almost like, oh man, we get to go see Reese wrestle again. I thought his career and time was done. So he looks good. Let's see if he can get this takedown. It's a close match here.
Big head snap there from Olsen. They'll come back to the middle with 15 seconds to go here in period number 2. Marauders lead 21-0 on the scoreboard over the Wolves of Northern State, tied up at 2 apiece between Olsen and Reese. And it appears that's where we're going to finish period number 2 at, as the clock will tick down to 0, and we'll get geared up for period number 3. So Reese's choice here in period number 3. and he will choose neutral to get set here in period number 3. And not much of a shock there, John. It kind of back and forth. I think at this point of the season, with him only having 4 matches, you've got to think that's where he's most comfortable.
Low single, yes. Popped her in. He's going to come in. He's got him on his back in some danger. Oh, he's got to come back around. Oh, nothing awarded. All that scrambling because you're back on the ankles. There was no major control. He went for the pin or basically back points before he had control. Thought he might have caught him, but again, didn't panic. Oh, looks like blood on his head. Oh, I don't know if you saw that.
So no points awarded, 1:32 to go.
Nice little high crotch opportunity there. See if he can get back in that low single. That was a quick shot. Again, Tanner Olsen controlling the elbows, getting in this, we called basically over-under position, both of them. Good call by the referee, getting a stalemate out of that. Let's keep this moving. Basically, a takedown here is going to make the difference in the match. Who can get this takedown? Oh, in on a deep shot. Olsen, power by Reese. On a whizzer and a hip.
Fighting for the takedown here is Reese. Trying to force the shoulders away here. This is a power battle and a power struggle, John, with 57 seconds to go.
Reese has got this. It wasn't whizzering. He was over the top. Most people, you don't try to get in that position whatsoever, but he's so strong.
Back to a head tie with 45 seconds to go.
Like you said, probably the match of the night here. See, they're working the edge of the mat a little bit. See, Olsen has a deep head inside. It's hard to score off that until you break. Reese, his best chance to get a takedown here is not to tie up with this guy. Just tap and get that low shot again.
30 seconds to go now.
There's that shot. He's in. Okay. Kind of in that freestyle position. He's got an ankle. And so he's sitting, not panicking. It's hard to get that ankle back. He's got it pulled all the way to his butt. Reese has not scored yet, but he's still getting position. They're calling up, pulling the toes. He's got his leg straight. Down to 10 seconds here. Having an award on trying. He stepped over it. That's the worst thing for the Gillette wrestler could go. Oh, no, coming back through, nothing. Going to go overtime here.
So we're 2-2 after 3. Overtime between Olsen and Reese.
Again, like I said, it's not good for Reese to tie up. For him to get his best shot, he's going to snap, move the head. Good little underhook. Now he can pass this underhook right over the top. Drop down to his shot.
And you'd like to see that shot come right off of the break here.
Yes.
40 seconds to go. Who's got more in the tank? That's the question.
Oh, there's a good shot by Reese again. He's in tight, popping him up. Coming, just basically attacking one leg. These people are on this sit back. You can try to trap an arm, but you don't want to attack both legs. You attack one. And he's doing a good job of controlling an ankle, but I tell you what, he's gotten in a couple times. Oh, stalemate.
And a stalemate will be called with 20.8 seconds to go here.
Now, if I was Olsen, I'd get in on a shot on him right off the whistle. But Reese has got to be ready. He's standing a little tall now. Again, he's got this left-handed tie.
And neither guy had been warned for stalling, John.
They got behind him, but short time, down to 11. Reese has got it, breaking the arms, getting under it. Oh, takedown, Tanner Olsen.
And there's a 2-point takedown, a big victory for Tanner Olsen. So 2 points in overtime will make it 4-2, and will give the first points of the afternoon to Northern State. Your final score in overtime: Tanner Olsen 4, Jared Reese 2. We'll take a step aside as we're at halftime between University of Mary and Northern State. Your score at the break: Marauders 21, Wolves 3. Back we come here, 21-3 our score. Tonight's game on the BEK Broadcast Network presented by North Dakota Firefighters Association, the University of Mary, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, and the fine folks over at Farmers Union Insurance. Jordan Hasser, John Gums, and John, we had an open with that technical fall in 5:22 as we get a look at it here between Nate Hooman and Cortez Castellanos. He really controlled that match throughout as the technical fall came at the 5:42 mark. That was a big win for University of Mary to open the duel 5-0. And then we go to 141 pounds, and Hunter Eckert picks up that 12-3 win in what was a really good match for Hunter Eckert, taking 4 takedowns in the first 2 periods and adding a takedown in escape in period number 3. 15-0 University of Mary at that point as they continued to pour it on throughout that match. Then we moved on to 157, and at 157 it was Jared Reese losing that match 4-2 as you see it here. Again, he was in a good spot until that point, and gives up the 2-point takedown, gives Northern State their first points of the afternoon. Your thoughts on the first, 3 matches, I guess?
Well, I tell you what, it was good, but I think there's better matches coming. I tell you what, Jared Reese, I just ran out a little bit of gas. That was it. Other than that, I tell you what, Mary looks in very good condition. Otherwise, the other matches we saw, just the aggressiveness. I was so impressed how Nate Hooman wrestled. He just, no fear, just went after it. And that's what we need, at this point of the season.
So University of Mary leads at the break 21-3. We'll take another step aside here on the intermission report. When we come back, we'll get you geared up for half number 2. 165, 174, 184, 197 in the HWT. The heavyweights will wrap it up here tonight. Mary at the break by 18, 21-3 over the Wolves. Back we come, 21-3, our score in favor of the Marauders of University of Mary. Again, next action for both these teams will be the Super Regionals, the 23rd and 24th in St. Cloud, Minnesota. And again, it's kind of been a struggle, John, for Northern State. 2-13, 2-14 coming in. 0-7 in NSIC action. University of Mary 7-6, 4-3, which is oddly enough, which will make it 5-3 unless this duel completely flips sides, which it obviously could. But if University of Mary is able to walk away, that'll be 5 wins in the conference, which would be the most for head coach Adam Aho, who's again is in his 5th season here and has just tried to build this program and do good things. And I think he's got this program headed in the right direction. And it's tough when you get a program like this, and they go through some turmoil and guys here and guys there. But I think he's got the team in the right place, and you want to see a guy like that at a school like this be successful.
Well, the Northern Sun is a tough conference for one, and stepping up into D2 from NAI is always a big leap, and it takes a while to get going into that region. But when I look at it, the St. Clouds and the Augustanas and all these wrestled the perennial NDSU back when they were in Division 2. Mankato, that they've been D2 forever. So, stepping up this program into that level, Adam Aho is doing a great job, and he proved it early in the season with some of the success with this team, beating Northern Iowa, which is a new thing, and they've been ranked nationally many times.
So the clock ticking down here to the end of halftime. Good crowd on hand here on a Valentine's Day night. So happy Valentine's Day to all the wives and mothers and daughters and sisters and all the ladies out there. Special happy Valentine's Day to my wife, who I believe is at home. By this point, the boys should be in bed, I would hope. And so she's probably not watching Real Housewives of some metropolitan city across the United States, having chocolate and enjoying her time alone. But again, Jordan Hasser, John Gums here on the BEK Broadcast Network. Tonight's duel presented by the North Dakota Firefighters Association, the fine folks over at Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Farmers Union Insurance, and the University of Mary. Don't forget to stick around for the post-game show. We'll pick our Cass Clay Wrestler of the Duel. That and much more coming up in the post-game show. We're at 165 now as we come back. It'll be Philip Springsteen for the University of Mary, the number 11 wrestler in all the land, 23-5 and 10 pins. He will take on Blake Perryman. Perryman 15-2.
Well, I tell you what, this should be, if you take any other match of the night, that's going to be the one. This should be it. I tell you what, right now, Springsteen, he actually got ranked nationally. He got up to number 11. And so he's been I watched him wrestle earlier this year, and he's got a kind of a funky little style. He doesn't like people underneath him. So he wrestles really low, and it bothers a lot of wrestlers. And then he attacks. So you're going to see what happens. This Perryman, he had some big wins. His last match, he did beat the kid from Mankato State, and he also beat the Dickinson kid. So Perryman is right in the mix, too. He's been ranked nationally, and just on the edge. He is a senior, so he has probably got the best chance to get out of the Super Region, actually, for Northern State.
Yeah, Springsteen trying to attack that braced and padded right knee, and a reshot there by Perryman. He's trying to finish. Nice sprawl and kick out by Philip Springsteen.
Yeah, he's got some good hips. You're going to notice that people get in on him and have a very hard time to score.
And the difference, we talked about it throughout the season. Again, me and Jack Mon covering North Dakota State University, they took on the likes of Air Force and Iowa State and Wyoming. They got a chance to take on Oklahoma State, the number 3 ranked team in the nation at that time. And we talk about guys through that roster and guys and how important, the hips are and the difference in the hips. And one of the guys for North Dakota State, Clay Ream, was one of those guys that you were never worried about him being in a bad position because he had good hips.
Yep.
And he seemed to do well. And we see that happen. It seems to me that the better the wrestlers are, the better the hips normally are as well.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Body control, big things you can teach kids, controlling hands, controlling the head, and then from there, you'd be surprised here, those hips. Kind of that thing, in baseball, when a guy turns his hips and hits that home run, it doesn't necessarily happen just by swinging the bat. You got to have those same hips into it.
So a 2-point takedown awarded to Blake Perryman, and that will be out of bounds. We'll come back to the middle. Buck 30 as we're halfway through period number 1. Perryman and Springsteen. Springsteen will be down here with a buck 30 to go in the first.
Well, Springsteen's ranked 3 right now in the region, the super region, so he's going to have a good seed going in, and this would be a crucial loss for him actually going into the super regional if he did lose this match. Perryman, he was as high as 6 in the seed, and I didn't see his last one here, but I probably, before we're done, I'll probably know it.
So Springsteen on the bottom. On top is Perryman. Springsteen to his feet. Perryman going to return him. Back to a base. They'll break him down. 1:05 to go in period number 1. Heavy on the hips here is Blake Perryman. Springsteen back up to a base here. Under 60 to go now.
Yeah, he's getting quite a bit of riding time coming in here. Perryman doing a good job. Got a little college ride. Riding a deep waist. Returning him back to the mat.
End up out of bounds with 45.1 seconds to go, and they'll come back to the middle.
Yeah, and when we start talking about that college ride, it's basically going underneath the far arm and catching the neck, and it's almost like a spiral ride. You're riding back in on the other side, and you have to do very good hand control, attacking that hand. There's a little switch. Oh, he's got himself in trouble here. Oh, got a 1 count. No, too strong for that.
Now the challenge will be thrown here.
This is another thing you won't see in a high school match. A little challenge coming in here. Stopping the match. Check something out here. Head coach, you can see talking to the wrestlers over there. You got the Mary coaches talking to him, saying you're going to have to get moving here. He's catching his breath, breathing pretty hard. Tell him to take his deep breaths. On the other side, Rocky Burkett trying to challenge him on his far side, talking to the referee. Very respected coach in the Aberdeen community. A lot of people I talked to, I just love the guy. He's doing a good job. In fact, I golfed in their Northern State Wrestling golf tournament this last summer, and he was a good host.
And I'm not sure that this discussion here is the challenge flag was thrown, or block, I guess, was thrown.
I think they were checking to see if there was actually back points there, and if you got the 2 count in, because 2 points in this match can make a huge difference. See that here? You can see where he's getting that college ride, going up to the neck. Now he's trying to switch. He turns his hips. Got Perryman in trouble for a second.
And a 2-point reversal awarded to Springsteen.
And that's the thing we didn't see. We didn't see that movement. On bottom, he's just kind of hanging out there. Sometimes, guess what? If you want to wrestle, you got to move. You got to get going and think the good things happen to those guys.
If Springsteen's able to ride out Perryman here in the first period, the riding time will be at 1 minute even in favor of Northern State.
Right at that edge. Yep.
So 2-2 after 1. Decision in Northern State University. He'll defer to period number 3.
He's asking the coach where he should go. Come on, he's trying to catch a breath. He's stalling a little bit here. He's going to go down. Coach tells him to go down. He wants to do that same movement again. A little back sit. Get his hips out. See if he can score.
To his feet. Return back down to the mat.
Yes, great return. So you can see him getting that collar ride. Somebody else might have a better name for it, but we always call it the college ride because you don't see it in high school as much because you have to have this deep waist. You can see he's wrapped all the way around. Getting a little tilt here. There's 2 count. Good deep waist tilt here. still has it in, trying to work to the wing on the far side.
So a 2 near fall awarded for Blake Perryman.
And again, he's riding him, and he's building up that riding time.
The riding time 1:37 and counting here in favor of Perryman. Springsteen got to fight off the bottom here. Again, Felix Springsteen, number 11, and he's warned for stalling, coming in 23-5.
Yes, and Perryman is a South Dakota wrestler, coming out of Dakota Valley down south. So not sure how far BEK goes over. He's got this tilt again, getting him in trouble. And see if he got a 1 or 2 count. Might have got a nice deep waist tilt. Yes, 2 more.
2 more than ear fall for Blake Perryman. So it'll make it 6-2 in favor of Perryman right now over top of Springsteen. 45 seconds to go now here in the second period.
A little bit of senior experience here, riding a deep waist, seeing that he's going to get himself in trouble again unless he gets back up from bottom.
Yeah, keep in mind, Springsteen has been warned for stalling, and no legs, kind of heavy on the hips as Perryman, but Springsteen not doing a whole lot from the bottom here in the last
See, here comes that deep waist tilt, just sits right back into it. He's going to get more points. You can't, he's got a deep waist on the far side. That, as a bottom wrestler, you have to turn your hip back into the guy. If you turn it away, it just pulls him right into the deep part of basically into his waist so that you can tilt him. Here, and he's not doing a very good job getting hand control. Perryman's just tilting him over and over again. This is almost reminiscent of high school type wrestling with a good tilt.
So 8-2 after 2. Perryman on top of Springsteen.
Adam Aho, he kind of discussing with his wrestler on the side, yelling, guess what? Hips out, get some hand control.
Yeah, and Perryman happy with his offerings in the second period. Will go on top here to start period number 3, and why not?
Yeah, I tell you what, how many times you see that in college, pick top? It doesn't happen that often. You're picking your feet or you're going to score from bottom. But guess what? He is just controlling him on top. Again, laying on his belly, and I'm surprised he hasn't been more for stalling down there. He will if he's going to lay down there.
Yeah, he's been warned once back in the second period, so next time he gets dinged, it will be a point charged to Philip Springsteen. Trying to get back up to a base here.
He's working this wrist out, trying to get it behind his back. In fact, Northern's not out of this duel yet. They've given up a couple, you'd think at 21-3, but all it would take is a big turnaround here. You all of a sudden add bonus points. There's enough matches here left.
Yeah, and right now, John, as he gives up the 1 point on the stall to Blake Perryman, it's a 7-point difference. Running time at 3:47, so it's an 8-point difference.
Now he sat back into that, and look, he's going what we call in the well. And now
the difference is 8 at this point.
And Justin Dakota's never been afraid to call stalling on anybody. So it'll happen again if he doesn't get his head off the mat. Now he's standing up.
Springsteen to his feet. Perryman trying to return him. Has to return him, and he will.
Yeah. The only time we've seen something good out of him tonight, out of Springsteen, is basically when he had that spark and he started moving. Other than that, he has not got it going tonight.
So 49.6 seconds to go. Blake Perryman leads Philip Springsteen 9-2. Running time well up over 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
Oh, there's the nice switch. See, gotta get them. Oh, good.
Nice follow there by Blake Perryman. Talking about a switch, re-switch there, John, and a nice job by Perryman just to stay tight and follow.
Yep. Just feeling confident. He knows he can ride him. Just staying with him. Down to 30, I know. Stands up, gonna get his hips away. There's that hips, got head position. There's one that's actually pretty big.
Yeah, 1 point escape for Springsteen. A big point there because it makes it just a 7-point difference with the running time point.
Got Rocky yelling out, get a takedown, get a takedown. Oh, now he's got him in a cradle. Can he get him?
2-point takedown for Springsteen, but he's going to run out of time. The final score will be 10-5 in favor of Perryman. Give 3 to the boys from Northern State, 21-6. It's 174 when we come back. Back we come, 21-6 after the 10-5 decision in favor of Blake Perryman. We go to 174 now for Northern State. It will be Caden Campbell. Campbell 4-5 coming in for the Marauders. Austin Eichmann 11 and 10 coming into tonight's match. And this one as well, John, is kind of a toss-up at this point. And again, the difference is 15 here. We've got 4 matches left to go, so Northern State not out of this match. The only thing we look at is for the Marauders at 285. They do have Dominic Tudor at 15 and 10, to where Justin Horn, the heavyweight, is 0 and 16 for Northern State. So you'd have to think the Marauders have some sort of idea that at least they've got 3 in their back pocket there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the University of Mary doesn't want to get to that position when you get to heavyweight. They have to have them win this duel.
So just underway here in period number 1.
Yeah, we're going to go back-to-back guys from Hastings, Minnesota, actually, for University of Mary.
And our body makeup, John, has changed considerably. We make that jump, it seems, from 165 to 174, and we seem to gain, 2, 3, 4 inches every time we make that jump.
And you see how thick they are. These are young men, not boys anymore.
And some blood appears on the lower lip of Caden Campbell. Tonight's duel on the BEK Broadcast Network, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Farmers Union Insurance, the North Dakota Firefighters Association, and the University of Mary. Excited to have University of Mary on board this year. Had some volleyball action for you. Had some football, men's and women's basketball, wrestling tonight. And don't forget, we're going to have more action coming up in the spring. We plan to cover and carry a handful of University of Mary softball and baseball action coming up as well. 20 games total for University of Mary here in the BEK Broadcast, and we're happy to have them as a partner of ours here in the 2017-2018 campaign. Back underway here, 21-6 our score in favor of the Marauders over top of the Wolves. Single leg was there.
Oh, this is a danger position for both these guys. Both guys got extensive freestyle backgrounds. Got a guy from Minnesota and a guy from Utah wrestling here.
And that was probably the most positive outcome for either wrestler at the conclusion of what just took place.
Oh, it looked pretty dangerous for either one of them. You go with that overlock. Gosh, a guy can step in and those hips get tossed and someone could have been going. And you just heard the crowd start rumbling like, oh no, what's going to happen? They know. They've seen these throws too.
And a Russian tie there. Switch off it now. Head tie halfway through, $1:30 to go here in period number 1.
Surprising enough, once you get to this college level, there's a good shot. He's in deep. Nice takedown.
A nice 2-point finish there for Austin Eichmann.
But you start watching, you don't see as many collar ties anymore. You might see a block, but they're starting to work inside position. And that was kind of a mistake. He passed by his head pretty easy because he was grabbing, basically a collar tie.
So 1:08 to go here in period number 1. 2-0 in favor of Austin Eichmann. And Caden Campbell will get set here on bottom. Justin Dakota will take a look, make sure he's set, and here comes Austin Eichmann on top.
We were talking Hastings, Minnesota, always perennial great wrestling there. State finalist his senior year, so he ended up taking second.
To their feet for a second time, and now the 1-point escape will be awarded to Campbell for Northern State. 52 seconds to go now.
You watch this now. He could pass that again. It's one thing younger wrestlers that are out there watching. This Russian tie is a great control situation. But when you're collar tying, you're going to have to work the head. If you just hold on, it pretty much, it's useless at college level.
When we talk a lot about head ties and the change of elevation, obviously, I think one thing that I saw a couple of times in the North Dakota State duels that we've done this season is that the duck under, which is a move I think that when you have an aggressive opponent, isn't really a move to get you in trouble. You can't really get in trouble with that duck, and I think guys that are so heavy on the head, it's not used quite enough. And you see it in high school a fair amount, but in college level, you don't see it used a whole lot.
Yeah, pounding the head versus holding onto the head is two different things. And passing elbows, being able to control it so that you can get past them. That duck under, it might be one of the first moves you might teach a young kid. Very valuable at this next level, too.
2-1 after 1 in favor of Eichmann. Eichmann will defer to period number 3, and Caden Campbell will go down to get set here in period number 2.
Like I said, this is the strongest part of Northern State's lineup. We're seeing it, back to back to back, and then we're going to see another great match when we get up to 97.
It could be interesting to see, John, as we get to the conclusion of this match, how important that 10-5 decision is going to be at 165, because with very little time left, it was 10-2,
yep.
And it ended up being 10-5. So we'll see if that bonus point plays in as we get down to 197 and then to 285.
It's possible. The one thing, that's what's kind of interesting when you get to college, those pins, you don't realize that how big they are. You can win a duel not winning as many matches because of those extra points.
When you see the high school matches, you're not. I should say you're fairly accustomed to seeing matches in the 40s, 40s in the pins, and you see, I mean, some scores. It's not uncommon to see a 40-20 as a 2-point takedown is awarded to Austin Eichmann. In the college rank, you don't ever see 40 points scored in a duel.
No, it's one of those. There's 10 matches, so there's 60 points possible, but at 40-20, you don't see those. No.
So take a look at that one on the replay. A nice job to keep his toes in. And the 2-point takedown awarded to Austin Eichmann of the University of Mary. So 4-2 here, about 20 to go in period number 2. And you're watching tonight's duel on the BEK Broadcasting Network all across the great state of North Dakota. And then up out of bounds and come back. Tonight's duel presented by the University of Mary, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Farmers Union Insurance, and the North Dakota Firefighters Association. Don't forget, we will select a player of the game, or in this case, a wrestler of the duel. Conclusion presented by Choice Financial, the people first player of the game. We'll have that at the conclusion of this duel. And 1 point escape will be awarded to Caden Campbell as Eichmann will cut him loose with 63 seconds to go here in period number 2.
Yeah, Campbell's really come on. He had a big win. I was watching the Dickinson duel. He won it. Tech fouled his kid out there like 18-2, so he's got the ability to put guys on their backs. So, gonna see how this goes. Both these guys, aggressive and very strong.
And heavy on the head both ways.
Oh, nice into a single, pops him up. Tried to hook it.
No points awarded yet. Gotta be careful.
Yeah. Now he started to count. You notice Dakota starts counting that and already giving the points because basically he's got his back, to the mat type thing, and it's not like you got back points, but it's one of those dangerous positions, and you'll start counting it there and give up the takedown before it's really in control.
So Caden Campbell gets a 2-point takedown here. He's going to try to ride him out to finish period number 2.
And that riding time is going down.
The riding time will be at about 24 seconds here. So 5-4 our score. Campbell leads over top of Eichmann. Eichmann's choice to get set here in period number 3. It appears that Caden Campbell may have broken his headgear here.
Yeah, you saw 2 really good takedowns by Eichmann, but I tell you what, he's behind in the match. And it all comes down to, as soon as someone gets a takedown, the guy gets an escape. And then you get the takedown at the end here, and now you can put yourself in a position. It's been a close match. See what kind of position he picks here for third. Both these guys getting a little breather too.
Yeah, and they have to give Caden Campbell a new set of headgears. He broke his at the conclusion of that match, so it will be conclusion of the second period. So Austin Eichmann will choose the down position to get set here in period number 3. So 2 minutes to decide the winner at 174. It's Caden Campbell leading 5-4 over Austin Eichmann. Again, this one at 174 pounds.
Again, working that college ride. Basically collar ride here, reaching across. Oh, throwing some legs in. He's already got a 1-point lead. He's worked that riding time back down to basically back to even now.
Yeah, now it'll start and flip sides and start counting up for Northern State's Caden Campbell. Leads 5-4, 1 leg in. And
see it not advancing, so.
And now we've got blood time coming. And this time once more for Caden Campbell. So again, we expect at 184 to see Jackson Schickel for University of Mary at 9-17. And David Murphy at 5-6. Not going to see Riley Lura, a kid that wrestled for Carrington, heading down south to Northern State. And again at 197, Emmett Brooks and Diego Gallegos for Northern State, and then Justin Horn and Dominic Tudor.
Well, the other thing, people, if they don't know, there would have been the guy from North Dakota on either one, Lura, or you got David Murphy. He's a Port Yates boy. So got 2 North Dakota boys coming up. Actually, when we get to 97, that'll be a California boy versus a North Dakota boy, but it'll be on the South Dakota team.
So 1:28 to go here in the third period, and this blood time probably benefits Austin Eichmann the most, as he was on bottom getting beat on for the first 32 seconds of this third period. He gets a chance to catch his breath.
Well, if he's going to get out, if he tries to throw the legs in again, he needs to get that knee slide. He needs to get his hips back out. You need to be blocking. Elbows in. When you get broke down forward with that college ride, it's basically the classic time when you're pushing that arm forward is to get the leg in on that same side where you're doing the collar ride.
And you wonder too, John, as we talked about it tonight, and I'm sure you've talked at length with many people over the years of you being involved with wrestling. But we talk about the best defense, obviously, is to not let him in. But the minute that whistle blows, the knees got to come together. Keep that base, put the knees together, give yourself a shot to keep him out. Don't let him in, and give yourself a chance to keep him out right out of the gate.
See, not afraid to sit back. He doesn't have back points, but he went right to putting the legs in. Oh, he's got back points here. You're going to start counting.
So a 2 count there.
Yeah, and he's going to hold him there. He's losing nothing by staying in that position. Now he's got a chance. And you notice, see how his hips are off the mat? That's perfect if you show how to do it. I mean, he can't do anything. He's got his hips in tight, and he's got his hips elevated off the mat.
Can't make a table with only 2 legs, John.
Or one. Or, geez, it was... Oh, potentially. Something happened. Didn't quite see it from my angle.
Yeah, the University of Mary coaching staff was screaming for a full Nelson, and Justin Dakota quickly gives them the response, letting them know it was not a full Nelson. However, it was potentially dangerous. So 50 seconds to go. Scores 7-4 in favor of Campbell of Northern State.
Well, he tried that little Granby roll, and he did a good job staying tight, and then he threw the legs in and just pulled them back.
You can see the knees keep getting pinched together every time they get close. Now the roll. We'll see if Eichmann can finish here.
You start noticing leg riders, though. If you start doing, Granby rolls, they stay tight, and you just fall right into your legs getting in without having to do nothing. So it's not a good position. Riding the heck out of him here. Picking down was probably not a good choice here for that last period. Only down by 1. Didn't realize he'd get ridden this bad. He's getting ridden. He's also going to get the bonus points. He's throwing getting this challenge in for some reason. See what he's arguing.
Yeah, we aren't the official challenge, but they may have to come to the table. So as we go back to our guys in the studio, cue the last 15 seconds up, guys, in case they have to come to our side to take a look. Again, we are the secondary replay. As the television entity, we are not the primary. We are the secondary, so they're going to take a look at it from their angle.
And I didn't catch what he was trying to,
Yeah, I'm not sure what the challenge is here, John.
Because to me it looked like maybe he was across the throat, but that's not illegal, maybe potentially dangerous, unless he did something. I honestly, when I was watching that, I didn't see anything wrong except that the Mary guy was on his back. It was the only wrong thing.
Again, they're taking a look at it over on the other side.
Well, like we had said before, that this duel isn't over yet, and
yeah, so let's see. We'll take a look at it here, guys. If you could slow it down a little bit. And let's roll it back just a little bit here. This is post-challenge here.
Okay, still over on the camera, so we got time to come backwards. And what he has here, maybe here he chin ripped, because you can't change.
Yeah, it's hard, guys. You're right there. It's hard to see from this angle what the issue is. Here's the second angle from the other side again, kind of the action happening away from us. We are on the same side here. So we take another look at it here as we roll it back and forth. And again, there you see
Justin
Dakota, taking a look at it from the official replay angle here.
And I'm guessing their angle is pretty much the same over there.
Yeah, they're actually, it's different, John. They're on the opposite side, as you can see from opposite us. The cameras are up top. Normally when we broadcast games from here, we use those cameras and part of our setup. But because of wrestling and being on the scores table side, we let them use those cameras and we use different. So it's a little bit different setup as it pertains to that. But they're taking a look at it. And the nice thing with their replay is they do have a wide angle shot, but they can enhance that image on their side. And we take a look at it here. And they're going to have a much better look at it than we do from our standpoint. So Justin Dakota having the conversation with head coach Rocky Burkett.
Yep, going to give them 1 point. Look like probably an illegal hold. But it doesn't take away the back points, I don't think. Because if it would take away the back points, it'd be 5-5 and then 6-5 with the riding time. But he's got 9 seconds, and he's going to be down by 2-3 points with riding time. So it must have been something illegal he did. I don't know exactly what it was.
So it's going to be 1.4.
Oh, they can see it. Oh, I thought it was maybe right there.
Yeah, I think if I read the lips of Justin Dakota, they're going to give him the clasping.
Okay, maybe he went around the neck without being under the arm.
Yeah, you can see it right there, John. See the hands there?
But then he's not under the arm there, though. So that's not illegal there. But he might not be under this other arm. That might be just around the neck.
But nevertheless, it's 1 point awarded to Austin Eichmann.
Illegal headlock. There's one.
One
trying
point
to get the
escape.
takedown. Still has 6 seconds. The takedown to be tied. Nope, he's just going to back away. Can't do it. Can run away.
And Eichmann going to run out of time. Your final score, Caden Campbell 7, Eichmann 6, 3 more for Northern State 9-21. UMary leads by 11. We break and come back with 184. Back we come 21-9 in favor of University of Mary. We're at 184 now. It'll be Schickel for University of Mary. Jackson Schickel coming in 9-17. His opponent for Northern State will be David Murphy. So Murphy for Northern State coming in at 5-6, and Schickel at 9-17.
This is going to be an interesting matchup. Both of these guys, have under 500 records. So this is actually, could be anybody's match.
Yeah, the difference is 11 with 3 matches left to go here.
Ooh, good shot. Oh.
Hey, 2-point takedown on the beautiful finish there for David Murphy for Northern State.
You notice this college ride again. We'll talk about that over and over again. You don't realize how tough that is. Yes, you try to stand up and skyjack. Good job, actually, defending that.
So Schickel awarded the escape 2-1 now in favor of Murphy. Yeah, the difference in the duel is just 12 points here.
See what kind of setups. Again, these are some bigger guys. Both of them looks like they're avoiding a tie. Oh, they're in.
Made a fool of you.
Yeah. I can only forecast so many things.
1 minute, 4 seconds gone here in the first period between Murphy and Schickel.
He's going to work his singles. Looks like he's doing a lot of outside. There's this outside step. Try a reshot. Hear the coaches yelling pull. Basically what they're doing is wanting to snap that head down, get a little position. Goes to the Russian. Oh.
It almost appeared like Schickel was a little bit dazed and didn't quite exactly know what to do there when he had Murphy retreating on his backside.
In on a nice little duck to a double high lift. Ooh, arm trap.
And a 2-point takedown there for Jackson Schickel.
So key, those beginning moves are in the singles, doubles. They're as good as anything out there at every level. Boy, he is a little explosive. He lifted him up. It's almost a highlight takedown.
To his feet with 48 seconds to go, out of bounds.
They call that stalling.
And now warning for stalling.
No, he wants to wrestle the whole time. It's one of those big things in college. You start pulling somebody out of bounds, it's over. They make the mats a little bigger here in college, if you don't notice that. I know they're bigger guys, but they want more room to wrestle.
And a 1-point escape awarded to Murphy. We're tied up at 3 apiece with 40 seconds to go here in the first of 3.
Like I said, this is going to be an interesting match. See if they both got any gas in their tank here. And I think that might make the difference. Who's in the better conditioning at this time of year? Trying to get back to his Russian. Got to that Russian, cleared the arm, and got in on a nice double. So now he's burying his head. That's another thing that Dakota will warn too. Somebody buries their head in there, doesn't progress, he'll warn them again.
Quick peek at the clock with 4 seconds to go. Don't expect a whole lot of movement here.
Good first period.
Decision to Northern State. He will defer. Schickel's choice now. And Jackson Schickel will choose a down position and get sent period number 2.
Good, you see guys warming up in the background there. Oh.
And a quick one-point escape for Jackson Schickel.
See, and part of this is positioning too. As you notice their stances, he's a lead right. So what he's trying to do is he's going one way and he takes him back the other direction to try to get his singles.
It's blocked there by Schickel of Murphy. Schickel leading 4-3.
Still
trying to muscle his way here.
Yep. More muscle than setup. There's a dump. Now he's got that. He's going to hook that leg. Yep, he's stepping in. Now he needs to get bottom shoulder, not top shoulder. Top shoulder might get him flip, but you got to get to underneath. He needs to. Oh, Mary's doing a good job. He needs to hold that wrist. That's what they were yelling out.
He got those legs turked here, and now going to have to let him go. And John, we look at that dump and that takedown, and when I was talking with Jack Mon, I believe it was against Wyoming, you talk about the concept similar to making an analogy with football. That dump is like throwing a screen pass. You're working off of the aggressiveness of the other wrestler, and he push, let your fender push you back, and he hits that dump. And there's nothing prettier than a dump at that point of the match.
That is so true. Same with the duck under. It works that same thing, the push, pull. You're getting a guy going too hard at you, and next thing you know, you're behind him.
Stalemate call with 31.3 seconds to go. Second period here. 5-4 in favor of David Murphy of Northern State.
Well, Mary took an early lead in this duel, and they need to start turning it back around here.
Yeah, keep in mind, Northern State coming off of that loss to Minot State, 27-13.
He's getting a little high. Now he's getting back. They're throwing these legs in. He's in a ball. Oh.
And a one-point escape awarded to Jackson Schickel. We're tied up once more at 5 apiece.
Well, Schickel's got a little Gumby in him. He's kind of loose that way, so it had a hard time, staying tight to him.
So we ended period number 1 tied 3-3. We end period number 2 tied 5-5. David Murphy's choice. He wastes little time choosing the down position. He will get set. Justin Dakota will take a look. He likes what he sees, and now here comes Jackson Schickel on top.
Getting the crowd going here. Good stand-up right away.
And Schickel will just let Murphy away here. 6 seconds into period number 3. And you got to be careful. 51 seconds is the riding time difference for David Murphy of Northern State. He leads by 1.
Yes, on a nice double.
And a 2-point takedown for Jackson Schickel.
Needs to stay on him a little bit here. Wear down just a little bit of that riding time. But it's going to come down. I'm seeing the last minute here. We're on the edge of the mat.
And 7-6 in favor of Jackson Schickel of the University of Mary. Out of bounds with 29 seconds on the riding time. $1:18 on the clock. We take a second look and a beautiful finish here. Sometimes, John, you don't have to run him over. Just change the elevation, spun him into a circle, and put him down for a 2.
Yep, that elevation was key there. Cleared past the arms. As wrestlers start getting tired, they have a hard time keeping their stance. Murphy's up, but they're worried about the stalling call. He's already been warned once on top, so they're yelling, return him, return him.
Again, the big emphasis this season in the collegiate ranks is making sure both wrestlers move. A lot of time the action had to be forced by the wrestler on the top. The stalling was going to come a lot quicker from the top man. I've seen this year a lot more, John, that the stalling go in both directions.
And that's how wrestling should be. Okay,
7-6 here, and the riding time going the way of University of Mary. It's going to be irrelevant because he's not going to get to 1 minute.
Nope.
And a one-point escape awarded to Murphy. So we're knotted up at 7 apiece.
Talk about that elevation level change. That's going to make the difference. You're going to see this in the match. It looks like Murphy's gas tank is pretty low.
Schickel trying to find a takedown here. 21-9, the dual score. 7-7 in this match. You've had one match go to overtime. That was between Tanner Olsen and Jared Reese. It was Olsen with a 2-point takedown. 25 seconds into overtime. 9 seconds to go now.
No, don't run away. Oh, he had that other ankle for a second. He needs to just stalemate this out. Oh, challenge. He's challenge coming in, so we're going to wait till time. We're going to see if he got the takedown or not.
So time will expire. The challenge fang will be thrown by Rocky Burkett.
last time I saw one of those things was purple. It's probably in the Vikings game.
So the score right now is 7-7. And we'll try to roll it back here between David Murphy and Jackson Schickel. Again, got a piece of that ankle. And right away, Jackson Schickel chose to try to retreat. Take a second look here. We'll see if our guys
so close
back in the studio can
honestly,
slow
watch
it
this.
down.
He catches this other ankle, but does he touch a knee? Oh, that could be two. What? Oh, man, he maybe didn't get his head up. I'm not sure. That is.
So here's another look at it from a different angle. Yeah, nice job to reshoot here.
Reshot, and he starts to run away. Catches the other ankle, but does he hold it on this far side? Does it slide out? We can't see that side again.
Yeah, again, it's that the other side, which is what their angle they have. The official replay is going to show that.
Maybe he had it wrapped and not held, which is different.
And there you see Justin Dakota in the middle of our screen, taking a look at it from his angle on the official replay. Again, the official replay on the opposite side of the facility here, so they have a different angle. They don't have a low angle; they only have the high angle here for the replay. And
overtime.
They're going to say the takedown is no good. So 1 minute of overtime. We're going to OT here. Tied up 7-7 between Schickel and Murphy.
Both of these guys have a little bit of air back in them. Tell you what, that little break of a minute makes a huge difference. Both these guys are just starting to get going again.
Looks like we just started back over at 0 here, John.
Yep.
21 seconds gone here in the overtime period.
Again, we talked about this lowering of the level. Now he's going to jack him up a little bit. Needs to pass this over the top. But he had a nice, nice little high crotch through it. Needs to get his head back inside. Aggressive, trying to roll through, nothing. Scramble, two. Good match.
The 2-point takedown will go to Jackson Schickel in overtime. Marauders take the 3 points. They'll make it 24-9. 197 when we come back. Back we come, 24-9 here. Fans of all ages in attendance, enjoying tonight's wrestling action. Coming on the mat now at 197 is Diego Gallegos from Northern State. Gallegos comes in 4-14. For University of Mary, it's Emmett Brooks. Brooks 5-16. So again, another on paper, John, another evenly matched matchup here at 197 pounds.
Yeah, it's a big freshman for Northern. And I tell you what, that's why that last match is so key. The duel is now out of reach for Northern. It's been sealed up, but you take that 6-point switch, you'd only be a 9-point duel right now. Even with it giving up 2 forfeits, that's comes a little crazy there.
So 24-9, our score in the duel. This match just underway, 30 seconds gone at 197 between Gallegos and Brooks.
Well, this is development time for both of these guys. They still have to go to the Super Regional too, and they both have extensive, backgrounds when it comes to wrestling, and young, and so both these guys getting mat time. Now, Gallegos, he's from Washington. He's a 2-time state champion out there, so he's got some experience. Then you look at Emmett Brooks. He had qualified for the California State Tournament. Now, got to think they only have one state tournament, and they've got 6,500 wrestlers, I think, in the state. So it's a little bit difficult. So he did qualify. He was in the mix, but he was not a state placer for California.
Approaching the halfway point here of period number 1 between Gallegos and Brooks. Again, University of Mary put this duel out of reach as they lead 24-9.
And there's always the questions I'd like to ask is how some of the California guys get here. And I think some of them just want to wrestle. There's not many opportunities out there. And University of Mary, maybe he's wrestled some freestyle, and coach catches him and says, hey, why don't you give a shot out here? And also, Mary being a private school, they got a little bit different reach. A guy by the name of Todd Parham that I wrestle with going way back is from California also, that wrestled out here at Mary. He's an All-American, going way back with Milo Trusty coaching here.
Heavy on the head here, both sides under minutes ago in period number 1. between Gallegos and Brooks. And a nice single leg there for Gallegos.
Kind of a high crotch, head outside. So it's high crotch position. He's gonna try to split those legs. Still no control. He's covered. There's the two. Oh, he gave the two because he didn't cover, but man, that's so get the one back. Not worth the challenge of anywhere there.
2-point takedown, 1-point escape, 2-1 with 20 seconds to go.
Might be the shortest riding time, 0.5 seconds. Or is that 5?
5 seconds.
Trying to crawl through. Again, it might come down to the aggressor here in this match. No, who's gonna be aggressive? Go for it.
Mary's choice here. They will defer to period number 3. Gallegos' choice. He will choose a down position, leading 2-1 after 1.
This is the first time we've seen both of these wrestlers wrestle, so I want to play it by ear here, but he's really long, so I'm going to see what kind of riding he does. Most of these guys, cradler, I'm guessing. That's throwing some legs in for a big guy. Not great position there. Got high. There we go.
And a 2-point reverse will be awarded to Diego Gallegos.
Now he's got a crossface in. He's got that tight. Now he's going to work. Oh, little cradle combination for him. Going back to that crossface. He's got a nice little crossface coming there. He's got to put his basically elbow through the ear. Going to a butcher, which you don't see much at the college level because they're just too strong. The last guy I saw do lots of cradles, going back to Brooks Labor. Go back to the Labors, actually. Napoleon, he cradled everybody up at 97 or when he was here. I don't want to say Brooke, but it was Labor.
Jesse,
there's the name. Yep. He can cradle anybody, I don't know.
Under minutes to go here, 4-1 in favor of Gallegos here in period number 2.
It's going to work an arm back.
Heavy here on the near side.
Again, going to work that crossface. Now, if he's going to be successful in this, he needs to keep a lot of shoulder pressure. There he is. Now he's walking around, but the guy's a little bit too long, a little too strong yet. Like we said before, there's certain things in college you just aren't as successful as you can get in high school.
Yeah, and Emmett Brooks warned for stalling on the bottom here. Gallegos tries to go back to another crossface here. 12 seconds to go.
And you notice he does a good job putting in the Iowa, lifting the legs, so using it like a third arm. Oh, little Granby roll out of it. There we go.
So a big point there for Emmett Brooks at the end of it, too. He picks up that escape in the final 6 seconds. It'll be 4-2 after 2 in favor of Gallegos. And Emmett Brooks going to choose neutral to get set in period number 3.
He's down some riding time, but saw some aggression there. I think he was a little tired of getting ridden down there.
And Brooks without a takedown in the match. Just a pair of escapes here so far. And a single leg.
There we go. He's got to get this out in front. Now you got to keep 2 hands on it. Did a good job. Oh.
And he gives up the takedown.
Good scramble wrestling. But you notice that when the guy had the single, you got to keep 2 arms on it. You're just not strong enough for the leg. The guy pulled an arm off and tried to stick with it too long, got out of position.
So running time up over 1:51 and counting here. 6-2 our score in favor of Diego Gallegos. And now the second stalling call will come, so 1-point stalling awarded to Gallegos. So 7-2 with the running time, which now will be up over a minute.
Well, I'm guessing that Dakota is hopping in his car and going straight to Fargo after this is over because he's got a ref tomorrow morning. Again, working that crossface, see if he can get him later on. His hips turn.
out of bounds, and we'll come back to the middle with 31.7 seconds to go. So down will go Emmett Brooks. He's set. Here comes Gallegos on top.
Well, I was thinking of all those assistant wrestling coaches that Mary has. They've got some ex-NDSU guys and a few other things. So, you know, these guys are getting, you know, like Steve Monk and some of those wrestlers wrestling some of these big guys in the room. You always wonder, you need a lot of help. But he's young. I think he can only get better here. He's a big kid.
Gallegos was warned for stalling, but it's not going to matter here, as period number 3 will come to an end. It will be 3 more for Northern State. Your final score will be 8-3 in favor of Gallegos. 1 match left to go. It'll be 24-12, 285 when we come back. 24-12 our score in favor of University of Mary. We're to 285 pounds now. For Northern State, it'll be Justice Horn coming in at 0-16. For the Marauders, it'll be Dominic Tudor coming in 15-10. And unlike the remainder of his team who ran out, he will choose a much more reserved approach.
Oh, yeah.
He will walk his way. Just looks like a heavyweight. Looks like a heavyweight.
And I don't want. I've always wondered why there's this big attraction with the heavyweights. It's just because they get the crowd going. I don't know. They always have a different personality when the match is going. You know, before and after. It's naturally built in them. Oh, and it's going to be over early.
And looking for a pin, and the pin will come for Dominic Tudor. That pin comes 19 seconds into period number 1. That'll make it a final. University of Mary 30, Justice Horn 12. And we'll take a step aside and wrap it up when we come back. Tonight's duel presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust, North Dakota Firefighters Association, the University of Mary, and Farmers Union Insurance. Marauders 30, Wolves 12. Back to wrap it up to the MAC after this. Back we come. Your final score: University of Mary 30, Northern State 12. Quick recap for you. At 125, Nate Hooman with a tech fall and 542 over top of Cortez Castellanos. At 133, Tate Barnhart picked up the forfeit. At 141, it was Hunter Eckert with a 12-3 decision over top of Josh Moore. 149, Reed Cronin picks up the win by forfeit. At 157, it was Tanner Olsen, Northern State, picking up over top of Jared Reese in overtime, 4-2. At 165, Blake Perryman picks up his 16th win of the season for Northern State, winning 10-5 over Philip Springsteen. At 174, it was Caden Campbell winning 8-6 over top of Austin Eichmann of University of Mary. At 184, Jackson Schickel picks up the win, 2 points in overtime to win 9-7. 24-9 Marauders. At that point, at buck 97, it was an 8-3 decision for Diego Gallegos of Northern State over top of Emmett Brooks. And at 285, Dominic Tudor used little time, just 19 seconds, pick up the win over top of Justice Horn of Northern State. Time now for our hashtag People First wrestler of the duel, presented by Choice Financial. Choice Financial believes supporting local athletics is part of bettering the places we live and supporting a healthy community. People First is the heartbeat of the organization. To find out what that means, stop at a location near you or visit choicefinancialgroup.com. And the winner of such award tonight was this man right here. He put the exclamation point, John, on this duel. Dominic Tudor picking up the pin, and a huge win for the University of Mary. And again, with that win, they moved to 8-6 overall. And a big win for them on top of Northern State. They win 8-6 and they move to 5-3 in NSIC action. For Northern State, they drop to 2-15 and 0-8 in NSIC action. Your final thoughts on what was a pretty good duel and a big win for the University of Mary?
Well, there were 2 wrestlers I wish I would have got to see tonight. Tate Barnhart, you know, he's got a great opportunity this next week here at Super Regions to qualify and get to that national tournament, being national ranked, but he's got a tough road ahead of him. He's still ranked 3rd in the region, which is, it seems weird, but he probably could take 3rd in the nation too. It's that tough. And then I wanted to see Rudy Gillen wrestle. Man, he's been on the ladder, what you want to say, in Greco wrestling. In fact, he wrestled the World Trials in Las Vegas and took fourth. He's a Greco man, and so he's got some upper body ability. I really thought that Damas Tudor's come a long way. He's also got a tough road. I'd love to see him. He's had some big dual wins, but now it's time to come into tournaments. He is in the region ranked 8th, which it's crazy because he beat the Minot guy who was ranked in the top 4 just this last week to basically on Friday to win that duel for the barrel. And then got kind of a little wild card out there. I think Jared Reese has an outside opportunity. He's got enough experience. I think his gas tank needs to get a little bit better here, hopefully, over the next week here. And I tell you what, Mary's really turned around the program to look really nice this year, and I just wish the best success for Adam Aho and his team.
And again, I would say with the loss drops to 2-15, 0-8 in NSIC action. With the win, University of Mary moves to 8-6 and 5-3 in the NSIC. Again, next up for both teams, the Super Regionals coming up the 23rd and 24th in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Next up for us tomorrow night, high school basketball, boys, 4 wins, Minnewacan and Carrington. Then Friday we have the start of the postseason for high school hockey. You'll have WDA semifinal number 1 and 2, 5 and 7:30 on Friday night. We followed up Saturday with the 2 state qualifiers in the championship game at 11, 1:30, and 4 o'clock respectively. And then on Sunday, a little matinee junior hockey action for you in favor of the Bismarck Bobcats and the Minot Minotauros. That will be from the Mesa Arena. For my crew on site, special thanks to Noah Reed making the trip here tonight, as well as the remainder of our crew back in the studio. Chris DeGaulle here on site, Jesse Schwab, and of course our director tonight, Jared Calvert. For my broadcast partner, John Gums, Jordan Hasser saying goodbye and good night from the McDowell Activity Center, where tonight your final score, Northern State University 12, University of Mary 30. Until tomorrow evening at 7:30, Carrington and 4 wins Minnewacan. So long, everyone.